Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome back to Kelly Reads Books. Have you ever given a book a star rating and then thought to yourself, wait a minute, am I rating this right? I recently uploaded my June reading wrap up and the stars that I gave those books. And afterwards, I got to thinking, what do those stars really mean? Am I being helpful? Then, as would be the case for me, I went down a rabbit hole. I started to find different videos and blog articles about how people rate books and what their metrics are. And I realized something. I may be giving away stars the way Oprah gives away cars. You get a 5 star. You get a 5 star. Everybody gets a 5 star. Okay, so seriously, maybe I'm not that generous, but my ratings do tend to skew high. So I decided that I needed to put together my own metrics, and I thought I'd share those with you. I want to understand when I give a star, why I'm giving that star rating, why the book worked for me, or why it didn't work for me, or, you know, reviewing those books that just wreck you in the best possible way. And honestly, this is why I started a booktube channel. The people that surround me are great people, but they're not avid readers. Probably my friends read 1 to 2 books a year, where I'm reading that or more a week. And I'm passionate about reading. I'm passionate about new books, and I have nowhere to share that. So I'm hoping to develop a community where we can talk about all bookish related things. So, first, why read a book at all? What does that small amount of stars actually mean? Because reading is personal. The same book that destroys me emotionally may be one that you close the chapter and say, that was fine. And that's okay, because ratings are completely subjective. However, I do think that ratings are good to have. For me, when I'm building my TBR, I do look at ratings. Something that's got a 2-star rating across the board is probably going to be a book I skip. And I'm on Goodreads and Fable. If I see someone that has similar reading tastes to mine and they give a book 5 stars, I am so much more likely to move that up my TBR. And let's face it, with so many books to read and only a finite amount of time to read, I want my ratings to mean something. I want them to help me, and I want them to help you. Let's start at the bottom with DNF, which means did not finish, or a 1-star book. Now, I have to be honest, I've never DNF'd a book. And I've also never given a book 1 star. I think the lowest rating I've ever done is 2 stars. That needs to change. And I don't think I need to change and give out 1 stars. I think I need to realize if something would be a 1 star, I need to DNF it. There are just too many great books out there to be read, to be forcing yourself to read something that's like high school homework. And I just think a lot of times that's what puts me in a reading slump, is if I get a bad book and I'm forcing myself to read it. Going forward, I have to give myself permission to just put the book down. 2-star book for me was a book that annoyed me. I have to be honest, I'm only given one book a 2-star, and that character in that book, she annoyed me to no end. She had no redeeming qualities, and I really felt like she was written like a caricature. And I won't even say the book, because my biggest problem with low ratings is I hate to give them. I can only imagine the work and effort it goes into writing a book. I don't know how a book can be edited and come out how some of these books come out, but the reality is some books are just a 2. And then there's 3 stars. Now, a 3-star is kind of the definition to me of it was fine. It grabbed my attention enough for me to finish the book, and I don't regret reading it, But 6 months from now, will I remember the character, the plot, or the ending? Probably not. It's just an average read. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's somewhere in the middle. And as such, I probably will not recommend it. Now, when I get to 3 stars, that's where I start using half stars in my reviews. A 3.5 star book is one that I enjoyed, but there was just something that I didn't fully connect with. A lot of times it's a book that other people rant and rave about, but for some reason, it's just not the perfect fit for me. It might be that I didn't connect fully with the characters, but for me, a 3.5 a lot of times comes down to pacing. Was it paced in such a way that I enjoyed reading it? I'm still glad I read this book, but it's probably not one I'm going to enthusiastically recommend. But then it gets good. The 4 star book. The 4 star book is a book I genuinely enjoyed. This is a book that I'm happy I picked up, happy I finished it, and happy to recommend it. It might not have completely taken over my life, but it was definitely above average. And here's where ratings get really tricky for me. The difference between a 4, a 4.5, and a 5 for me comes down to feelings. Did this book, did it capture me? Did it surprise me? Did I really connect with the characters? And most importantly, is it a book I want to talk about as soon as I finish it? Those are the questions that drive up my rating. A 4.5 book takes it up a notch. This is a wonderful book that I will absolutely recommend. It has strong character development, great pacing, an engaging plot, and something about it stands out from the crowd. This is the kind of book that I know that I will remember the plot, the characters, and all of this 6 months from now and even longer. But it's still missing that tiny, almost impossible to define something that brings it up to a 5. Sometimes I think a 4.5 book is not a 5 because it's been overhyped and it didn't quite live up to what I thought that book should be. Whatever the reason, a 4.5 book is outstanding. It just didn't quite cross the finish line to make it a 5. And now we arrive at the 5 star book. Dun, dun, dun. For me, you have to give some recommendations here. Your 5 star books are, for me, my 5 star books: Lonesome Dove, Remarkably Bright Creatures, The Correspondent, Beartown, and my favorite book this year so far, Theo of Golden. These are the books that absolutely blew my mind. In a 5 star book, the character development is like multi-layered and fleshed out, so much so that you feel like you know and understand the characters, even if you don't agree with them. In a 5 star read, it's one that I'm talking about constantly, so much so that my husband is like, "Oh, are you talking about that book again?" Or my friends are the same way. And I will recommend that book. If you tell me you read, you're going to get a recommendation for one of those books. Honestly, the thing to me that takes that 4.5 across the finish line into a 5 is emotion. If a book makes me ugly cry, it's probably a 5 star. If I'm all in my feelings and I can't put it down, it's probably a 5 star. If I want to immediately write a review and see what everybody else is thinking, it's a 5 star experience. Years later, I can still tell you who the characters were, what the plot was, what the twist was, and how it ended. These are the books that stay with me. These are the books that don't end when you close the cover. So there you have it. That's my new and improved rating system. I promise I'm going to start DNFing some books and stop wasting my time. But remember, this is what makes it so much fun to talk about books. Even though the ratings are subjective, Your 5-star read might be a 3-star read for me. And the book that wrecked me emotionally may be a book you DNF'd at chapter 4. Let's face it, we all rate books differently. So, how do you rate books? Do you give out fives pretty easily? Or do you make a book fight for its life to get that top rating? I'd like to know in the comments below. And if you've been here long enough to see this, leave me a palm tree emoji. I just booked a cruise yesterday and I'm pretty excited. Love to see those palm trees. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Kelly Reads Books.